Hey, welcome back to 1023 Culture, where we take culture and current events and we look at them through the eyes of a Christian and thinking in terms of 1 Corinthians 10:23. All things are permissible, but not all things are beneficial. All things are permissible, but not all things are edifying. And so today we're going to dig into a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit, into one of my favorite book series that I've read multiple times called The Wheel of Time. Now, we're doing that today because in about 2 weeks, Amazon Prime is going to release the first couple of episodes of this book adapted for TV. And behind me here, you see one of the main characters here, Rand al'Thor. This is actually the book cover for A Memory of Light, this is a big series. It's 14 books plus a prequel plus 2 companion books. It's huge, and it takes a long time to get through. A man named Robert Jordan was the one who wrote this. He wrote the first 11 books, actually. And then, sadly, he died from a blood disorder. And after that, his wife made the decision. She reached out to an author named Brandon Sanderson, who is an excellent author. I can definitely recommend him as to put his books on your list for reading material, to finish it out. And he did an excellent job. He really did. He utilized Robert Jordan's notes to finish it out. Stayed very true to the story. You don't see a whole lot of conflict between his writing style and the original Robert Jordan's. So it really is. It's an epic book. Started in 1990, and I think the last book was finally finished in 2013. In 2013, that's a long time. But briefly, the book is. Let's go over here. So this here is just image I pulled off of Google. Don't tell anybody. If I was a bigger channel, I wouldn't be able to get away with this kind of thing. But this is just a promo picture here of the people from Emmons Field. Okay, which is where these kids are all from. We have our first group. We have Perrin. That should be Egwene. I'm probably going to mispronounce because I've read them and read all the books more than once. Listened to the Audible books 3 or 4 times now, but they could change how they do it. Then on the other side over here from Emmons Field, we have Nynaeve. We have our protagonist, Rand al'Thor. And right here, we have Mat Cauthon. These are the boys right here and the people from Emmons Field who leave because this woman here, Moiraine Sedai, and her, for the sake of ease for you, we'll call him her guard, Lan Almandragoran. Pretty sure I hashed that one. I mutilated that one too. But they come in search of basically their savior. And so Emmons Field is a very small place. Emmons Field is just a village supported by the farming community around it. And Rand lives on a farm with his single father. His mother died, and they raise sheep and grow tobacco. They just call it tobacco in the book. So that's just the beginning, and we're going to see this in the first episode. If you can, I would suggest you read the book before you start watch first season. As I understand it, their intention is to have each season be one of the books. We'll see how they work that out. I don't know for certain. But in this, there is magic. There is a lot of fighting. There is going to they can't avoid it. There's going to be nudity in it. There was a limited amount of sex in the book. It wasn't a big deal in it. It is there, and so that's one of the things you think about when you're watching things like this and reading these books as a Christian. It's not going to be like Game of Thrones. At least I certainly hope not. The book itself, while it has a fair amount of scenes that could potentially have it, um, the book is I don't. It's not something that Robert Jordan really centered on anywhere near as much. Game of Thrones was, well, it's on the verge of softcore porn in some scenes. So we're going to see what happens with this. Hopefully they don't do that. I'm really looking forward to this though, and I don't want to give away too much. We do have the concept. The concept is going to be behind it, reincarnation or not resurrection. There's a certain amount of that in the book, but it is going to be a fair amount of talk about reincarnation, history of the people. It is a very deep and rich book series, and I would encourage you to go ahead and get the first book, read it, because it will make the first season so much more enjoyable. Now, from what I've understood, they have really stayed true to the books, and I really hope they do. There's going to be obviously some changes. Some things just aren't going to go the way they did in my head as I read, because you read and that's the beauty of reading, is you develop a whole world in your head. And to be honest, I didn't picture this guy right here being Rand al'Thor. I mean, this is not the face right here that I pictured, okay, as Rand al'Thor, but that's okay. The thing is about Rand is that he looks very different from the other people from Emond's Field. Emond's Field, they're talked about being dark-haired and dark-skinned, and then from the very beginning, he stood out. He was much taller than them. He had very light skin and red hair. That's going to be very crucial to the story later on. There is one character I've been looking for, and I can't see an image. I'm interested in seeing how they have it, and that's somebody named Loial. Loial is an ogre, or ogier, and as such, he's just very tall, very gentle, and very big man. We should see him second episode, I think. By the second episode, I would think, because they travel from Emond's Field to a city called Berlin, and Berlin is more of a town, but to them, because they came from this very small community of a couple hundred people tops, Berlin having a couple of 1,000 or 2,000 people is just huge compared to what they think they're used to. So having grown up in a small town myself, to me that's to me I kind of get that. So I think the clothing is going to be neat how they have it. Now in the book, Moiraine Sedai is a particularly short person. The actress that they chose is not a short woman. That's okay. Not a big deal, right? So we're going to enjoy that. Kind of coming back over here, we're looking at, the book image of Rand al'Thor. And Rand in this, I mean, he starts out a very young man. He starts out, he's 17, 18, under 20. And this all takes place in a period of about 2 years. At this point in time, he has done a lot. He has lived a lot. He has made a lot of mistakes. And he has had some great successes. But we're not going to give away too much, and it's going to be really interesting. I want to follow this, and I do want to kind of report on it on my channel, because I'd love to be one of the places you go to, because I am a super fan of this book. I think from the point of view of a Christian, I think there are some things that you might want to filter out for the kids. You might want to look at things. There will be scenes with some nudity in them. Not a lot of sex, fortunately. Like I said, we're not talking Game of Thrones level by any stretch. But there will be a fair amount of nudity I expect to see. So anyway, tell me what you think. Are you looking forward to this? Tell me in the comments below. What are you thinking about this book? Have you read it yet? If you haven't, are you planning on it? This is coming out in just 2 short weeks from now, on November 19th. And I've been really excited about this. So, please let me know what you think of it. Let me know what you think about my channel. Let me know what you think about this little studio here. Let's give a shout out to Knox Labs. Knox Labs is the one providing this in virtual reality. This is a virtual space entirely. It is based completely in a computer. And there is a lot more happening that you can't see. We'll use different areas of this according to what's going on. There are places, there are chairs and couches, and if you saw my trailer, if you go back and look at my trailer, you can see where I'm sitting actually, which is just right in front of me here. A couch where it says knock knock on there. So I encourage you, check out Knox Labs. If you have virtual reality, if you have a VR headset, they are on the Oculus App Labs is where you would download this. And it, for Oculus, which is the Facebook one, or Meta, whatever you want to call it these days. And check them out. It's still in development. There are some occasional minor issues here or there, but for my purposes, this is great. If you have an Oculus and you'd be interested in being interviewed over things like this, the Wheel of Time, or if you watch Dune and you're a fan of Dune, I'd love to sit down and talk to you about that. Or if you want to talk about matters of faith, talk about matters of men's mental health, we'll get into that subject at some point in time. I'm here, and I would love to do interviews, and with the headsets and Knox Labs, equipment here, we could do it from across the country. We don't have to be in the same place, and we can do it in a manner that is much better, much easier than a Zoom meeting. Those of you who don't have a headset of some kind, we would incorporate a Zoom into the interview. So anyway, thank you very much. Have a great day. God bless, and be sure to like and subscribe. We are here to talk to you. If you agree with me, let me know below. If you disagree with me, let me know below. Be sure to like that, press that like button, subscribe, and share. Thank you very much. God bless.